We're back in action once again here at Dubai Autodrome as we get ourselves ready for the Formula 4 United Arab Emirates Championship closer for this weekend. I'm Jake Sanson. Beside me is the voice of Dubai Autodrome, Chris Milbourne. Chris, the fourth one is usually the most spicy of the races.
It certainly is, and it's all going to be down to Vantov and Enzo Trulli, because guess where they're starting? They're starting mid-pack. So those are certainly two drivers that are going to have to keep an eye on. They're actually starting on row number 3 and 4 respectively, with Enzo Trulli being a little bit further back. So it looks like the top 8 have been reversed from the third race that we had today. So Jonas Reed in the Muka Sport car lines up on the front row of the grid with Francesco Brashy alongside for company. Oleksandr Pardashev will be on the second row of the grid with Pepe Marti. The Spaniard has been very quick this weekend and actually throughout the season as well, although his consistency hasn't been the best. I know his first race weekend here in Dubai didn't go the way he'd like it to, but he certainly has started to improve, and we've seen him on the podium a number of times and vying for position as well out on track. Hamdar Kamaisi and Dilana Vantov share row number 3 with Enzo Trulli and Kirill Smile, race winner from race number 3 earlier today on row number 4. Then we have the Thai driver for XL Motorsport. Actually, we have a full XL Motorsport fifth row there with a 14 and 75. Jamie Day looking to improve his day here. Not the best finishes, certainly not the ones that he'd wanted. Lines up on row number 6 with Endo Scanotti alongside for company. And then at the back is the Saud Al Saud number 3, the Saudi Arabian driver, who's now got a different coloured nose cone. It should be white with flashes of blue and red, but this time he has a black one. So it looks like there was some damage in the previous race. That may be why he faltered and slipped down the order. But the good news is that he is on track, and we have all 13 drivers. And I've just noticed as well that we have a Muka Motorsport front row. Now, we've yet to see a Muka Motorsport car win an F4UAE championship race this season. Could this be the one, Jake?
Well, it certainly could, with the two cars lined up on the front row of the grid. Jonas Reed to the right-hand side, Francesco Brashy to the right, and then it's an all-XL Motorsports row 2, but not the drivers that we usually see on the second row. It's the Oleksandr Pardashev car that's there in third for the Ukraine, number 23, and then the 13, Pepe Marti. This is his best chance yet to take that elusive first win of 2021. He's been threatening to do it for most of the season in terms of raw pace or good performances on podiums. This is his chance. Hamdar Al-Khabaisi, though, is there in 5th position. She is the highest of the drivers on the grid to have already taken a race win this season. Dilana Vantov obviously is the championship leader, but thanks to the performance of Enzo Trulli this weekend with a win in 2 seconds, that gap that Dilana Vantov had, which was a massive lead in the championship at one point, is now down to just 22 points. So it's going to be very close indeed as we head to Yas Marina for the 4th weekend of 5 in this Formula 4 UAE championship, because Enzo Trulli will want to take yet another scalp out of the Dutchman's. Oh, what did they just run over? I think that was a bird, I think, on the circuit. And unfortunately, it's Francesco Brashy's car that has ploughed straight into it. Now, I have seen incidents like that in the past where it's actually caused quite a phenomenal amount of damage, because those single-seaters are fragile, and when it hits anything, they can be very brittle. So there's a possibility that Francesco Brashy may have started the race in the worst possible fashion.
We'll have a look if we can see if there's any damage to his car on the front row of the grid, because, of course, he lines up in 2nd place. And just a quick note, Nikita Bedrin has been withdrawn from this weekend. He completed race number 1 and he finished 5th place, but he's been withdrawn from the 3 subsequent rounds. Now, looking at Francesco's Muka Motorsport car, there doesn't seem to be any damage anywhere that we can at least see from our cameras. Maybe a closer view when it lines up on the grid. Maybe you can possibly see if the poor animal did any damage, but that's an unfortunate way to start a formation lap for Francesco. So through the bowl they go, and they will line up once again on the grid, all 13 of the F4 UAE Championship drivers. Of course, this is the last race of the day, but we've got plenty more action coming up soon for the Formula 4 UAE Championship. One more races next weekend that will no doubt put on a fantastic show as the drivers now work their way through. Now, interesting enough, Hamdar Khabaisi has come into the pit lane.
Yeah, that really spells the end of her chances of victory. Starting for the pit lane isn't going to be a race-winning tactic, so whatever problems she might have, that's going to cause all sorts of issues. Now, that looks like they're going to stop her at the pit bay, so she certainly has some kind of problem. Oh, they're going to reverse her into the pits, so that's it. Hamdar Al-Khabaisi, game over before it's even started.
Now, is there a possibility that she may have also had contact with the bird as well, and is that the reason why the car's being pulled into the pit box. We'll have to wait and see. But the rest of the field are in position. You'll see there is a slot missing on the right-hand side of your screen, plotted 2 cars back. That's where Honda should be loading up. The green flag waves. So the rest of the field are in position. And let's see how this one works. The final race of the day set to get underway. We'll watch the 5 red lights come on, the engine notes start to rise, and it's down towards turn 1. Here we go for the final time in the F4UAE Championship. 3 lights are on, the engine notes start to rise. 5th line on, is it a long hold? No, it's not. We're green flag racing here for the first time in the F4UAE Championship. Race number 4, down towards turn 1. It is a Muka Motorsport 1-2 down towards the first corner, but who will make it through cleanly? Looks like the Francesco driven number 27 or 28, excuse me, has the inside line. It indeed does. So Muka Motorsport make their way through the first corner cleanly.
Brashy getting an absolute textbook getaway from Jonas Reed. Nice and clean behind him through the first couple of corners. The chicane is where things start to get a little bit more tense. And I think that's Pepe Marti, who's moved up into 3rd position in the 13. So a cracking start from Marti. 2 more of the XL cars in there. I think that's that's Delano Vantov and Alexander Partishev having a nice little tussle as they go down the back straight. But so far so good for Francesco Brashy, who is out in 1st position, doing well, the Italian. And this is his best chance to win a race this season. As round the outside, lovely move from the fast starting Delano Vantov. He's up to 2nd place already. He could make this to 1st position before the end of the lap.
And there was a bit of lock up there on the right-hand side there of Francesco's car there as Delano Van Hoff made a quick move of him going around the outside, and looks like the Dutchman is already in 2nd place, as I said, as they work their way down towards turn number 8 and towards the bowl complex. Now, can Delano Van Hoff do this all in just 1 lap?
Kirill Smal's up to 4th place as well. He's made a blinding start, the Russian, from 6th on the grid to P4, so he's come through as Vantov tries his best to get close to Francesco Brashy. Brashy is not going to try and lose an opportunity to get a podium though, so it's going to be interesting as we've got 2 cars side by side up at the far end of the circuit. It's one of the Cram Durangos, so that's got to be Enzo Trulli moving his way through on, I think, that's got to be Pepe Marti or Tizanopol into Fuvazak. The Frenchman Noam Abramczyk is in that mix there as well, as Kirill Smal runs wide out of the final turn. And we go down the main straight. It's Brashy, Vantov, Reed, Smal, Marti, Trulli into Vuvazak and Pardishev, and it looks like Vantov might even go for the move into the first corner at the end of the 2nd lap, and Francesco Brashy senses it, protects the inside line. That's not the smart move. Vantov could get him on the undercut, switches up to the inside line. They're side by side. There should be enough grip on the outside line into the left-hander, and Vantov is not going to get there because Brashy squeezes him.
And he certainly almost lean on each other there, going through the corners, now onto the back straight. Delano Vantov tries to get the cut back, going through turn 4. Now onto the back straight, down towards the hairpin. Now we watch Delano Van Hoff. Where's he going to go? Left or right? He's decided to go to the left-hand side to see if he can go around the outside. Oh, they almost collide into one another, but they give each other a racing route. Big lock-up again from Francesco out in front. Now can Delano Van Hoff make the move? Oh, he's on the rumble strips again. A little bit of dust being kicked up there because, of course, yes, we have sunlight. We don't have any rain here, but we have got a lot of sand blowing around, and that sand is very slippery.
Kirill Smal's trying to come up into 3rd position around the outside. Big lock-up from Brashy. Smal will come around the outside of Jonas Reed. They bang wheels, and Smal manages to get the momentum up into 3rd position. Now tucking up behind Delano Vantov, who is there in 2nd position. There was a little bit of contact between Brashy and Vantov as they banged wheels into turn 5. So that got a little bit messy. Vantov will now be feeling a little bit aggravated sat behind Brashy, especially now that Kirill Smal is all over the back of him.
And Kirill Smal here on a mission. He's certainly making some bold moves, but he's staying away from everyone as well at the same time. And here he comes in 3rd place. We've got a nice sort of group of 5 cars here vying for the lead as they work their way through the final corner. It is indeed the Muka Motorsport number 28 out in front, still from Delano Van Hoff. Jonas Reed, Kirill Smal, actually, he's up in the 3rd place. Jonas Reed has lost out. And we're slowly becoming now a 6-car trade for the lead of the race. Will Delano Van Hoff try and go on the inside? No, but Kirill Smal does, as he defends from the Muka Motorsport car behind him. That's Jonas Reed that's trying to make up some ground because, of course, started on the front row of the grid and has dropped down to 4th.
Fastest lap of the race now from Enzo Trulli in the Cram Durango, now up into 6th position. He is the final car in the train, and we know how quick he is around here. He's already got a win in 2 seconds. So Enzo Trulli doing a fantastic job thus far this weekend. He's in P6, but he's still got plenty of time to move forward. Here comes Delano Vantov again behind Francesco Brashy. Brashy trying to second guess which way Delano's going to go. He knows he needs to go fairly deep into the corner. He places the car in the middle of the circle.
Able to escape the XL Motorsport squad here, because all three cars behind him, Kirill Smile, Delano Vantov and Pepe Marti, all from the XL Motorsport camp, and I could presume they're actually probably all working together to try and find a way past the Muka Motorsport car here, as there is the young Russian all over the back of the leading number 28, and Muka Motorsport have yet to snatch a win here, and it's going to be a very tough ask here, but Francesco is doing a fantastic job of keeping the rest of the field at bay, especially when you've got the likes of Delano Vantov and Kirill Smile, who tries to make a move on the inside down towards turn 10. A bit of brake dust being kicked up there, so possibly a lock-up again from Francesco going through turn 5.
Marty defends from Jonas Reed as well, so Jonas Reed is not going to be able to pick up P4 just yet, although now Marty is being a little bit too defensive there, and this is going to bulk them in. Jamie Day now has a crack at Enzo Trulli, and that's going to do the young Dubai Stars confidence no end of good if he can get past the race winner. And now side by side, interlocking wheels, somebody's got to yield. This could be very nasty indeed, as Pepe Marti goes to the inside line of Jonas Reed. Reed tries to squeeze him to the inside, now cuts around the outside, but there's no way he's going to overhaul Pepe Marti. He's got that one done.
He certainly did, and there's a fantastic job from both the two drivers there and not colliding into one another. Not even a small touch there of the tyres as they work their way through, and here comes Jonas Reed again. He wants that place back, and now we've got a quartet of cars battling here for fourth position, which includes Jamie Day in the back of the field and Enzo Trulli. So Francesco Brashy continues to lead here in the 28 by 4/10 of a second, but as we said, he's not able to escape the two XL Motorsport cars behind him with Kirill Smile and Delano Vantov here. A lock-up again from the Muka Motorsport drive out in front, and a much wider line. Oh, too wide there through corner 2.
Yeah, Brashy's really overworking the tyres. He needs to calm down a little bit here. The only way he's going to finish on the podium is if he thinks about the last lap of the race, not about this lap of the race. He's got to look after those tyres because the two men behind are faster. He already knows that, so he's vulnerable. He needs to start working with the car. They've got to get to the end of the race. If they want a podium, they've got to look after the tyres. Look, Kirill Smale just trying to psych out Brashy, and it worked. Brashy had to move to cover. That's going to work the tyres harder. So Kirill Smale is actually very much in Francesco Brashy's head at the moment. Brashy driving a little bit too defensively if he wants this podium. Kirill Smale is going to make mincemeat of him at the first opportunity, and Brashy's giving him far too many of them. Brashy locks up, and surely on the switchback, Kirill Smale is going to get him out of the corner. They're side by side, and Kirill Smale is not going to need a second invitation. They're going to run side by side to the apex of the corner. Brashy will have the inside line, but he's overworking the tyres. Watch Kirill Smale. He may even decide to do the undercut mid-apex into the left-hander. He starts his move on the inside. Brashy just drops him across.
How they didn't make contact there, I'll never know. And you can see Delano Vantov, he's just biding his time here. He's laying back a little bit, just going a tad bit slower than these two in front of him, biding his time and waiting for these two now to trip over each other. We've also seen a note on the timer screen here. Car number 77 was the culprit of the race start investigation. A 10-second penalty to be applied after the race for the jump start, and that's not good for the Muka Motorsport's other car of Jonas Reed, who's down into 4th place. Well, actually, he's just gone up into 4th place. He just found a way back past Pepe Marti as Delano Vantov closes in on his teammate here as they work their way through corner 1. How much longer can Francesco hold it?
Well, Brashy's just run wide, and this is the invitation Kirill Smale needs. Smale is just going to wait for this chicane. Brashy's covering the inside line. Smale can roll off the power, get back on the inside. Brashy drifts too far wide, and that's it. Smale and Vantov are both going to get past Brashy, no problem at all here. Now they're going to work together because they're faster in combo than they are on their own. So Brashy's going to have the outside line. He's going to try desperately to cut across. He knows he has a chance for the win, but there's no point trying to get himself into a position he can't get out of. Kirill Smale gets through, but he is holding up Vantov. Now this is critical for the Dutchman. He needs to get past quickly, which he's on the inside line now. Surely Brashy is not going to have a response. That was a big mistake from Francesco Brashy to make, but Kirill Smale forced him to do it.
It was certainly through turn 4 as well. It certainly was a mistake on the on Francesco's behalf. They're running a bit too wide, and of course got off into the dusty parts of the track where a lot of sand is gathering there. Of course, it's all offline as well, so tyres now a bit dusty and a bit more on the tyres than it was expected. Delano Vantov runs wide. Oh, a little bit of contact. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it?
Brashy really should have bailed out of that one, to be honest. He was trying to come around the outside of Delano Vantov, and look, he's really struggling to keep the car under control. I wonder if he's actually damaged the suspension a little bit there, because there was a little bit of a love tap through the left-hander, and Brashy just absolutely desperate. He did not want to lose that second place. He knew that the only chance he was going to have of winning this one was to stay in between the two drivers and try and match their line. He is desperately now on the slipstream of Delano Vantov, hoping he manages to catch up to this man in front, Kirill Smal. He's locking up. Brashy really struggling. I think he's found too much of the car in too short a space of time.
Certainly that looks to be the way, and I've just noticed as well, if you look at the left front of Francesco's car, you can see the decal is rubbed off a little bit there, and that's presumably from tyre rub from contact earlier on. I've also noticed going through turn 15, there's a perfect sort of wheel-sized hole going through one of the track markers, and I've never seen that. Usually they get taken out completely, but this one has a perfect hole on the right-hand side, sort of like a cartoonesque sort of thing going on here as we work our way around on lap number 8 here. It is Kirill Smal looking for his second win this weekend, and he's looking to do 2 back-to-back wins, essentially. He will be on the podium for the 4th time, and that's a great showing here for the Russian, and this will climb his way back up the order because he's outscoring both Enzo Trulli and Delano Vantov. Not as much as he'd like to the Dutchman, but for the Italian, the Russian is really outscoring him, and Enzo Trulli is struggling to find a way through the pack. He's 0.7 of a second from Jonas Reed, and with Jonas having the 10-second penalty applied to the end of the race, it will give Enzo Trulli an extra position, but Kirill is outscoring him. So we're going 3 wide through the bowl complex. Just saw that at the back of the screen there. That's 2 of the XL Motorsport cars and a Cram Durango. Now that would be Olaskan Parashev, Pepe Marti and Enzo Sonotti. They're working their way through. Hamdan Al-Kabaisi have got the cars gone back out. The Abu Dhabi Racing by Prema have sorted the issue, so she's back out, but unfortunately it's more of a test session now, isn't there, for her?
Well, they may as well do it because it's a free test session for the later race of the season, and now Brashy seems to have got himself dialed in to have another crack at Delano Vantov. This is personal now for the Italian. He feels hard done by from Delano Vantov, and he wants to get that second place back. He's got a good run out of turn 2 as they come up to the chicane, but he's just taking so much out of that car in the wrong part of the racetrack. Kirill Smal's disappearing. Brashy has still got a run on Delano Vantov. This is all going to come down to Delano Vantov's mentality and composure. Look at Brashy swarming around. He goes right, sells in the dummy, goes left instead, and now Vantov has to make a decision. Brashy goes deep, but the reason for that is because he's trying to get the switchback maneuver out of the right-hander into the left, but he locked up too much. It wasn't going to work, so now he's got to try something else on Vantov. He's working those tyres so hard, Francesco Brashy, and now he's going to try and get the switchback undercut move again, and Vantov is not going to have enough of a response. Brashy's there, they're side by side.
I want to say that's a very quick Muka Motorsport number 28 now, isn't it? So we've seen a lot of lock-ups from Francesco. He's dropped back, but here he is fighting again with Delano Vantov, and he's going around the outside through the bowl. That's not where you want to be, but he's going to try and get the switchback as they work their way through, and he has to slot in behind the Dutchman as they work their way through the bowl complex. Now, what can these two do? Can these two catch up to Kirill Smal? I don't think they will, because they're squabbling as here comes the Francesco number 28 through the final corner, and he's got the move stuck.
That is such a hard corner to make an overtaking move on, and Francesco Brashy's made it work. That's brilliant. Now Enzo Trulli, having got past Pepe Marti, is sizing up Jonas Reed for 4th position, but now Delano Vantov is attacking Francesco Brashy. He can't afford to do anything to Brash into the first corner. And as they come through, he's going to drift out wide. Vantov might get the undercut switch. Brashy needs to shut that door, which he does. But there's a twitch in the middle of the apex. He's trying to keep Vantov second guessing into the apex. He's playing a really dangerous game here.
He certainly is, but hats off to the Muka Motorsport driver. He's doing a fantastic job here of keeping that car in second place. He did start on the front row of the grid. He still technically is on the front row of the grid, essentially, because he's in second place. And again, he's being as defensive as humanly possible here. He's trying to ensure that Delano Vantov does not come through as he tries the outside line. Francesco shuts the door as they work their way now into the left hand. A little very close there between the two of them as they work their way up the hill. This is a great battle we have here for just second place with just over 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Delano Vantov trying the outside line again to get the cut back. Can he do it up by the UP building? No, he can't. He's going to have to find another way through.
Much better from Francesco Brashy. He's learning, and he's really starting to place the car in the right positions now. He's not looking too ragged. He's certainly learnt from his mistakes early on, but now Vantov has got another chance on the inside. Brashy holds the car to the inside. He needs to get the car stopped in the apex and get it back on the power. Much better, Francesco. He stays in second place. Here he comes up the top of the hill, and this is so much smarter driving now from Francesco Brashy. He's really dug deep and found something extra in the car. So now he's got a genuine crack at second place. We're running short of time. There's only going to be 2 laps to go, and Brashy just needs to do that twice more.
It does, and we've got a good battle brewing up here further down the order. Autoscanner Parnashev has found a way past Pepe Marti on that lap. Pepe unfortunately going the wrong direction, and we've got a huge battle brewing up as Marti gets back through. Sanapoul is up into 9th place. Noam Abramovic is down a position. Enzo Scanotti here going the wrong way as well. Contact between cars 23 and 14 at turn 1 on lap 2 will be investigated after the race. Cars number 23 and 14 are Oliskander and Sanapoul. Now, we didn't quite catch that, so those two have been in with one another. That might explain why we saw both drivers sort of fall down the order. Now they're working their way back up as Kirill Smile continues to lead, and he's probably loving what he's seeing behind him because it's allowing him to escape up the road, and it's going to give him potentially now his second win this weekend, and it's going to be back-to-back victories for the young Russian.
That is a rare gap that you get in F4UAE Championship racing. It's rare to have a 4-second advantage on the guy in second place, but Kirill Smile has read the race very well indeed, got his move timed to perfection, let those two, Francesco and Delano, scamper about amongst themselves. And look, Delano's been dropped. Francesco's just got away.
I think he's trying to make a move somewhere that hasn't paid off. Now, usually we see him dive to the outside going towards the bowl and try and make a move around the outside and get the cutback, but he just can't, he's not close enough to do it.
Enzo Trilli's up to 4th. He's got Jonas Reed, so now the 2 title protagonists are on the same bit of racetrack together. If Vantov has overcooked the tyres and Trilli's are fairly fresh still, then we might see an amazing squabble for the final place on the podium between Vantov and Trilli. Last lap.
Here we go, one more lap to go. Who will be across the line in second? And as we pointed out before, Delano Vantov is losing ground now to the Muka Motorsport car, and Enzo Trilli still under pressure from Jonas Reed. He hasn't been able to shake him, and just behind them now is Jamie Day, the man looking for a 5th place finish here. He hasn't had the best race weekends currently at Yas or Dubai, looking for a strong finish here. Actually, he hasn't finished.
Oh, here we go. That's Trilli and Reed side by side. Oh, Trilli squeezes him as he gets through back again into 4th place.
I was going to say that Jamie Day hasn't finished inside the top 5, but he has. He's got a number of 4th place finishes, 3 to be exact, to his name, but he's looking for his first podium finishes here. I don't think he'll get it in this race. He might try again at the Yas Marina circuit next week, but the battle is certainly on for 4th place at the moment. Here is Enzo Trilli, Jonas Reed and Jamie Day, all battling for that 4th position. Kirill Smile continues to lead by 3.5 seconds. He's in sector 3 now, all by his lonesome, as Delano Vantov has been dropped by Francesco Bracci, who looks to be on par for a 2nd place finish here. We've seen him once on the podium in Dubai a few weeks ago. He finished in 2nd. It looks like he will gain his second position.
Cracking display as Jamie Day has now got past Jonas Reed into 5th position on the last lap. Jonas is going to need to do something drastic, but he's going to lose that place anyway with a 10-second penalty. So the battle is going to be absolutely raging as they come through. But fair play to Francesco Braschi. He really has saved his bacon in this race. He set the fastest lap last time round. That's given him 2nd. But Kirill Smile takes the victory for the 2nd time this weekend. The Russian is in the Formula 4 UAE Championship title fight ahead of Francesco Braschi and Delano Vantov. Bring on Yas Marina.
And on the last lap of the race there, Francesco goes quickest of all, so he takes points away from both Delano Vantov and Enzo Trilli for an additional point that either of those two could have gained. A valiant effort there from the Italian after a dismal couple of races. Unfortunately, we didn't see him as well in Yas Marina, but he's back here in Dubai and he's proving his worth that he is a title contender. If only he competed in those 4 rounds, what could have been for Francesco. But an amazing job, 2 for 2 here for Kirill Smile. Francesco Bacci in 2nd place and Delano Vantov round out the top 3.
Brashy, definitely my driver of the day there. A halfway point of that race, he was locking up, he was making mistakes, he was succumbing to the pressure. You would not have put money on him to salvage a 2nd place and a fastest lap out of that race. But he suddenly realised what he was doing. He knew he had a chance on Delano. He squeezed him out, he dug deep, he found some momentum. And despite the fact that he was locking up, he managed to salvage something from the car, and something just clicked. And it was really well timed from him to get that move completed on Delano Vantov. He broke away from him, and managed to bag a second place that I genuinely didn't think was odds on in the midpoint of the race. For me, Kirill Smal took a fantastic victory, brilliant performance, but driver of the race has got to be Francesco Brashy. I would never have put money on him to finish second the way he was driving in the middle of the race, but he salvaged something pretty special in that second half.
I'm with you there, Jake. I didn't expect that either. I thought he would have used up all the tyres and gone off wide and will definitely tumble down the order, but Francesco Brashy there, a fantastic second place finish for the Italian. That wraps up the final race of the day for the F4UAE Championship. Of course, we'll see more action from F4 in 1 week's time at the Ass Marina circuit. We've just got 8 rounds of racing left, and I wonder what this has done to the championship title here, because Delano Vantov third, Enzo Trulli he came across the line in 4th, but Kirill Smal, who is 50 odd points behind, just bagged himself an extra 25, and he's now slowly reading these two in, and with 8 rounds to go, anything's possible.
I'm afraid to say that DNF and then rejoin for Hamda Al-Kubaisi has really hampered her chances. It essentially now becomes a 3-way title fight between Enzo Trulli, Kirill Smal and Delano Vantov. And this is a big win for Kirill Smal, because in the previous 2 weekends, it was Delano Vantov and Enzo Trulli that cleaned up. They both got a win this weekend, but none of them was as good as this man. The Russian has been absolutely stupendous this weekend at the Dubai Autodrome. This is where his championship assault really begins. Watch out, world. Kirill Smal is on the march.
So that wraps up coverage of the F4UAE Championship. We'll now move on to the NGK Pro Car, or the NGK UAE Pro Car Championship soon enough. So we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with you live soon enough.